let's bring in our next guest. You know, once again with the Coalition for Space Exploration, the 6-person crew is strapped in, and Dean Acosta is here, so we'll go for launch.
How's it going, guys?
By all measures.
Let's get these clouds out of here, though.
Yeah.
I think Leroy would agree. Let's
well,
make
we've got
it
a little bit of margin, you know.
Yeah, let's get some margin in
Let's
here.
get a little bit
we're
more.
Not worried about tribo-electrification.
That's right. Thank
today.
goodness.
We're tribo-protectified.
That bogey is behind us.
So we're behind that one. So hopefully they just have enough ceiling to safely land in the case of an RTLS, return to launch site.
Yeah.
But as I was saying to Leroy earlier, think about an RTLS for a minute.
Right.
Supersonic, Mach 4, backwards, dropping into your own plume, and you're worried about
At full throttle.
At full throttle, and you're worried about whether it's a 4,800 foot or 5,000 foot ceiling. Come on, let's get real, guys. These are the best stick and rudder guys. If they survive that thing, they'll get it down.
They can do the instrument approach.
You might say there'll be a little adrenaline flowing, but
do the ILS.
they'll do the ILS.
It kind of reminds me on my
MLS.
flight out here why they always worry about whether my seat's a quarter of an inch back
Right,
or not.
exactly. Exactly.
Because it's the rule.
I was on SkyWest commuter flight the other day, and they wouldn't let me put my phone in the pocket in front of me. Is that really?
What?
Yeah.
What?
No, you can't put anything in the pocket in front of you now. I have my,
We've gone
headphones.
crazy with these rules.
Wait, you mean like magazines?
Their magazines are allowed. Their
But
barf
extra
bag is allowed.
magazines,
But my book,
phone.
my phone, and my
Oh, wow.
Bose headsets,
No kidding.
no can do. I'm like, where is that all about?
Wow.
Anyway, we have digressed significantly
We
here.
have digressed.
Why don't we just do it, what grinds my gears? Like, Peter Griffin kind of thing on Family Guy. What grinds my gears? I'm telling you, that grinds my gears. Well, you know what grinds my gears right now? We were just talking about it. President Obama goes to China, and the NASA administrator should be in the delegation. There are other cabinet level secretaries there. NASA is not a cabinet level operation, but it certainly is high visibility, and given the
Yes.
Chinese space program, at the risk of using a trite metaphor, given that he's going to China, but let's read tea leaves here. What does that mean to you? Should we be worried?
Well, I think not so much worried as I'm disappointed in the missed opportunity. I mean, here, as communicators, as a broadcaster, know your audience, right? And we know that the president needed to go and to help calm the nerves of the Chinese that own almost $1 trillion of our debt, right? But one of the things that we know that the Chinese are committed to, and Leroy knows better than any of us that's been out there, is that they are committed to space, and they see this as an opportunity for growth. And what better way to show potential partnership, collaboration than to say, NASA, here is our NASA administrator, let's look at opportunities where we could work together in the future. And I think that, again, would have raised that profile, and I just think it's a missed opportunity. And we know that we need the president to make a quick decision here on the future of NASA and what we're going to do from a policy standpoint.
I realize healthcare reform is sucking all the oxygen out of Washington, and you're a Washington animal, or were. You're recovering now. I'm sure there's a 12-step program for this, but we'll talk about that later too.
There is.
But the point is this. I was with some people, for example, the other day on the Hill on the Transportation Committee. I was doing a story on infrastructure, and they're like, you know what? We don't have anything to do with healthcare. We are ready to do a transportation bill. This is important. Infrastructure is important. Why can't we focus just for a few minutes on this and multitask that? And the same goes for space.
I agree.
This is important. It is not necessary to kick it down kick the can down into 2010 or who knows when. Let's hope first part of 2010 to make a decision on this. I mean, he was on the Augustine Commission. We've got, you gave him 5 options. How long does it take you to look at the menu, right?
Yeah, I agree. And as the Coalition for Space Exploration, and you're familiar with our group, we're a group of industry companies that couldn't have said it any better than what you just said. We figured the Augustine panel has pulled together some good options. We as the coalition feel like we've been on the right path going forward, but let's make a decision. We think that it's important for our country to invest in this, and for the world. I mean, as people that are inhabitants of this planet, we think that space exploration is important to do, and it's not something that you woulda, coulda, shoulda. Let's make this commitment, and let's go forward and make this happen.
Well, help me understand the ways of Washington for a moment, but not too much because I'm afraid it'll infect me like a virus. But what is the mindset that says, okay, we're doing healthcare, we can't even talk about transportation or space? it's just impossible to even do that. What is the thought that if you distract in any way, you take the momentum away from what is the priority item?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think it's political capital too. So the president's not going to come out and talk about space or talk about transportation or anything else, because his focus and what he's trying to do is build this coalition for healthcare. We need to do the same thing for space. We need to show our elected officials that we care as constituents, that this matters to us. Now we're seeing these tea parties and these other folks that are gathering saying that their views on healthcare. We need to see those same kind of power, whether it's reach out to your elected official with letter writing or calls to let them know that this matters to you, that yes, you care about healthcare, yes, you care about Afghanistan, yes, but space is something that needs to be part of the dialogue. And the fact that we haven't done it well enough to get out there, elected officials are saying, well, then that's something we need to worry about, because I'm not hearing about it.
I got it. Let's have T0 parties. What do you think?
T0 parties.
A T0 party.
I think it's an excellent idea. Let's organize it.
And you know what we'll do? We'll get a bunch of model rocketers together. You know, we'll fire off some significant rockets. You ever see that one on YouTube, that Saturn V that guy shot off?
No.
Oh my God, the thing is 12 feet high. I mean, this thing, and when he had a tracking camera on it, looks like the real thing.
Really?
So that's what we should do. We'll go to the mall and we'll get one of these 12-foot Saturns and we'll have a T0 party. I think we're onto something.
Hey, we got this tweet up. Why don't we get those folks organized?
We'll build
ask
a tent
them,
there.
say, come on, let's go meet us in
I think
DC.
we planted the seed of an idea here, but there should be a little groundswell out there. And for those of you who are out there and care about this stuff, we're interested in all ideas like that, because I think the fact is, if you care the least bit about space, if you care about and let's just say for a moment you don't. You wouldn't be watching me right now, but let's for a moment you don't. Okay, hypothetically, do you care about the nation being competitive? Everybody should care about that. Do you care about our kids embracing STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics? You should care about that. All of these things are part of the whole space picture. And to ignore it, we ignore it at our own peril. So,
well, and just to build on that, Miles, I mean, the Coalition for Space Exploration has done 2 projects this year where we've gone out to measure how Americans and how folks feel about their space program. And we raised some of those same questions. You got healthcare, you got wars, you got this uncertain environment when it comes to the financial community. And people, even in the midst of all those challenges, say space is a priority and it's not something that we should walk away from. Because they recognize that young people today that go out and study math and science and the hard subjects, that if they don't see that there's something for them to do past that, exciting, that they're not going to go and study those things. Hey, China's looking at that, India's looking at that, Russia, they see the importance of trying to organize young people and give them that carrot to go out and do the tough things. And I think that we would be making a grave mistake. And it's with 2 young daughters, I want our country to stay committed to doing the hard things and the innovative things. And that's what makes this country great. And I think if you're watching, if you have your Twitter following, if you have any of your groups, your extra neighbors, your community, reach out to them and tell them this stuff is important.
We choose to do the hard tweets because they are hard tweets. All right. Dean Acosta with the Coalition for Space Exploration. Always a pleasure. Covering DC operative. He's now in Houston. He's going to be okay. We're going to get him. We're going to get you deprogrammed one of these days.
Thank you. I need all the help I can get.
All right. We're going to take a brief break. Spaceflightnow.com is powered by Livestream.